Hello students, so we're going to continue with the structure program, the structure chapter. So in the previous video we saw one structure program to initialize the members within the program body using the structure variable. So there the value the value the data value was already pre-written in the program, so user did not need to type anything from the keyboard. But still then the data value was within the main function outside of the structure declaration. Now if you saw the first video, we saw that there were two ways we could initialize the members. The first one, we saw that the within the structure declaration, while the structure is being declared, we could initialize the members using the structure variable by using the assignment operator. So using the assignment operator, the values were assigned to the structure variable in the structure declaration itself. In the previous video we saw that the values were assigned to the structure variable, that is emb1.emb code equals to 100, like that, right, within the program body. Now today also we're going to see that to initialize the members within the program body, but in this program the program will ask for the user to enter the employee information. So now the user will type from the keyboard, will enter the input value from the keyboard. All right, so now for this particular program we use three header files, that is iostream, string.h, and studio.h, that is standard input output.h. So now similar to the previous program, you can see that the structure the structure keyword is used, and the structure tag, that is employee, which is user defined data type, and these are the members, that is employee code, employee name, designation, and salary. So here you can see that we are using character arrays. So character arrays, and these are the two structure variables that are declared. Right, so the structure is declared here. Now later on you will see that the structure can be declared else or also, right. So now here first is enter the employee information. So now we enter employee emb1 information here. So since we have to enter from the keyboard, so a prompt must be given to the monitor screen so that the user will know what to enter from the keyboard, right. So cout enter employee code. So now using the cInput stream emb1.emb code, we saw that using the dot operator the members could be assigned, the structure variable can access the members using the dot operator. So the values will be assigned, the 100 will be assigned to the members using the structure variable. So when the structure variable is declared, then only memory space is allocated for the members of the structure. So now since emb code is integer type, so we use the cInput stream. Now next is cout enter the employee information. Now I've just commented this section, will come to that later. This part and this part is not included in your textbook. Okay, I have included this here so that to show the errors that you get. Now when we have to enter the employee name, we use the gets function. All right, so for that purpose we use the string.h string.h header file. So this gets function, within the parentheses you can see that emb1.emb name. Now why do we use the gets function here? Because if we use the cInput stream cin, if suppose the employee name has a first name and a last name, now between the first name and the last name there will be a space, blank space, right. So in case of the cInput stream, only the first name will be will be accepted, and when it is displayed only the first name will be displayed. But gets function, it ignores the white space, blank space also, and then it will display, it will accept the first name also along with the blank space, and then the last name also, so that so when you have to enter string value, okay, string value with blank spaces, then you use the gets function. Now here why we're using the gets function purpose is the gets function, it reads from the input buffer till a new line is encountered, right? So that is why we are using the flush standard in here. All right, now what this gets function does is, um, it will it reads from the input buffer. That means now this when we say enter employee code, all right, the C input stream, it from the keyboard we're entering the value, suppose like 100. Now if we don't use this flush standard in, all right, then what will happen is that the gets will read from the input buffer. So in the input buffer the previous value is stored there, that is 100. So that value will be read by this gets function, and it will not read the so it, once it reads that previous value, all right, then what will happen is that until a new line is encountered, all right, so in the next line statement you can see that there is a cout statement. So what will happen is that the gets function, all right, will ignore this and then move on to the next line, all right. So in order to eliminate that problem, this flush standard in is used here. Okay, we'll come to that later. So enter the employee designation, also we use the gets function here. Enter employee salary, since it is float type, so we just use the C input stream, all right. Then here we use the flush standard in. So this flush, what it does is it clears the input buffer for the next input. So once so because we have to enter two employees information, right, so it clears any input value that is stored in the buffer zone, right, so that the next input value can be entered and stored in that buffer zone. So keep in mind that till the time that we're entering the value here, all right, the program is still not compiled. So it is still not sent the input values, that is employee code, employee name, designation, salary, it is still not processed, it is still not sent to the program. Only when we press compile, then that information is read and then processed, all right. So since we're using the gets function, we have to clear that input buffer, right, so that the next input value will be entered. Similarly, for to enter the employee information for EMB2, we use the same sequence. So like cout enter employee code. Okay, here instead of EMB1 we use EMB2 because the EMB2 represents the next the second employee. So this is the second structure variable. So after that we have to display the output. So cout, here is the employee detail. So in the previous video I have explained that this for loop is used just to display this equal to symbol 32 times, right? So a line. So now EMB number 1 information is, so this will be displayed, right? So cout employee code EMB1, EMB1 dot employee code. Okay, similarly for the employee 2 also the same process will be repeated. So now, though the program looks lengthy, once you understand the structure concept, it becomes very simple, right? So now let's run this program and see. So if you see this, it asks, a prompt is given, so enter the employee code. So now let's say employee code is 100, and then after that you press enter. Now you see that we are not able to enter the employee name, but that enter the employee name is skipped, but here enter employee information, so that prompt only is given. So now what happens is, because we have not used the flush, so what happened was that here after entering the employee code, that is 100, all right, the next line statement is cout enter the employee name, right? So this line gets printed out. However, the gets function, this line gets printed out enter employee information, but however the gets emb1.emb name, all right, does not get processed because the gets function reads the value 100 which is stored in the input buffer. All right, so as it is written here, gets function reads from the input buffer until a new line is encountered. So emb name, the data value is not, we are not able to enter here. Right, but in the case of this enter employee information, we are able to enter the employee designation. We are able to enter the employee designation here. Right, so because of this, we have to use this flush standard in before the gets function. So anything that is in the input buffer has to be cleared out before we use the gets function. Right, so now if we run this again, you enter the employee salary. Okay, so again enter employee code. See, so here the same thing happens. Okay, so you can see that the employee code is displayed, but the employee name in both the cases are not displayed. The employee designation is displayed, the salary is also displayed, but the employee name for both the employees are not displayed. So that problem is solved by using this flush in just before we use the gets function. Right, so here this, so in your textbook this is actually not mentioned. All right, so you have to correct that. Right, so when you use this, you will see the difference now. So now when you run this program again, enter the employee code 100. Okay, so you can see that now a prompt is given, and then the cursor, the program waits for the user to enter, because now right after entering the employee code, we have used the flush standard in. Right, so it flushes the standard in the input buffer, so that the gets function waits for the user to enter the data. All right, so it will accept the value. So suppose like John Smith, then you can see enter employee designation, then salary, again enter employee code 101. Okay, so say like Sarah Turner, right, and then say like sales women, right, and then so now you see that you are getting the correct output. Okay, so the employee code is displayed, the employee name is also displayed, the designation is displayed, the salary is also displayed. Similarly for employee 2 also, we can see that the employee code, employee name, designation, and the salary is displayed. All right, so this way you can see that we are able to create much closer to a real life program. Right, so using array, it is not possible to combine all of these members together, but using the structure we can see that we are able to combine all of these members using the structure, using this structure keyword. Right, so using the structure tag and using the structure variable. So here you can see that in this particular program, from the input from the keyboard, user is able to enter the data, and the structure is, this structure program is able to process that. Right, so the only thing that you have to make correction is you have to use this flush standard in just before you use the gets function. All right, so students, what you do is that you type this program, run this program. All right, first do not use this before the gets, and then after that you type this flush just before you use the gets function. All right.